I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network, and here are today's Bitcoin headlines. Bitcoin approaches 7K as U.S. passes new $480 billion stimulus package. April 22nd, 2020, by Omkar Godbol, writing in CoinDesk. Bitcoin is rising so far on Wednesday as stock markets cheer the U.S. Senate's decision to approve $484 billion in new coronavirus relief. The top cryptocurrency by market value is changing hands near $69.70 at press time, representing a 1.6% gain on the day. Prices look to have steadied in the $69.30 to $7,000 range over the last hour or so, according to CoinDesk's Bitcoin Price Index. Meanwhile, the Euro Stoxx 50, the Eurozone's benchmark equity index, is reporting a 1% gain, and there's been a 1.2% increase in the value of futures, tied to the S&P 500. The positive moves come after the U.S. Senate passed a new stimulus bill on Tuesday to bolster aid for small businesses, fund more coronavirus testing, and provide support to hospitals facing a deluge of sick patients. The new package comes nearly 4 weeks after the U.S. lawmakers approved an unprecedented $2 trillion federal stimulus program. This new bill now moves to the House of Representatives for approval before it can be signed by President Donald Trump. That the trillions of dollars in stimulus is inflationary and could bode well for Bitcoin in the long term is generally accepted by now. So far, however, Bitcoin has failed to perform as a significant haven asset or inflation hedge and has generally been tracking equities through the crisis. Bitcoin decoupling? While the cryptocurrency has recovered over 80% from the March low of 3,867, the price rally has coincided with a notable recovery in the S&P. That said, signs of Bitcoin decoupling from traditional markets have emerged this week. For instance, the West Texas Intermediate, WTI crude, the main oil benchmark for North America, fell to $37 below zero on Monday, sending shockwaves across the global financial markets. Bitcoin wobbled slightly following the oil price slide and registered a 4% drop Monday, but the decline was moderate considering the scope of oil losses and the stressed state of the global economy the event reflected. Further, Bitcoin remained steady near $68.50 on Tuesday, even though the June futures contract on the WTI fell by 40% and the S&P shed more than 3% of its value. More important, classic safe havens like gold and U.S. Treasuries also faced selling pressure on Tuesday, while the U.S. dollar strengthened in the Forex markets, a sign of a renewed dash for cash. A similar cash crunch seen in mid-March triggered a violent price drop. Bitcoin fell by nearly 40% on March 12th and printed a low of 3,867 the following day as investors scrambled for liquidity. This time, however, the cryptocurrency is showing resilience, possibly because the crypto market focus has shifted to Bitcoin's mining reward halving in 19 days. Last month's rush to cash hit a Bitcoin especially hard. This time around, the impending halving could have mitigated outflows from crypto into cash, said Marcus Swanepoel, CEO of cryptocurrency exchange Luno. Bitcoin undergoes the halving process every 4 years, reducing block rewards by half in order to curb inflation. Many observers expect the supply-cutting event to bode well for Bitcoin's price. These bullish expectations could force investors to hold their coins while heading into the event. It could be that investors are not choosing to sell their holdings as we might expect, and instead are staying in Bitcoin so as to not miss out on anticipated gains in the months following the halving. Simon Peters, an analyst at multi-asset investment firm eToro, told CoinDesk. It remains to be seen if Bitcoin remains bid while heading into halving. Luno's Swanepoel thinks more money may come into cryptocurrencies if gold keeps drawing safe haven bids. The yellow metal is reporting 2% gains at press time and may continue to draw bids as a V-shaped economy recovery is looking increasingly likely. From a technical analysis standpoint, Bitcoin's immediate bias is neutral because the cryptocurrency is trapped in a sideways channel. Daily chart. As can be seen, Bitcoin has largely been restricted to a range of 6470 to 7470 since April 7th. However, within that range, the cryptocurrency printed a bearish lower high at 7300 on April 18th, raising the prospects of a downside move to 6470. So far, however, the sellers have failed to penetrate the bottom of the range. The bulls need to keep Bitcoin above the descending bearish 50-day average at 6802 to avoid a sell-off. On the higher side, a move above 7300 would strengthen the prospects of a range breakout and a rally to $8,000 ahead of the halving. This has been Bitcoin approaches 7K as U.S. passes new $480 billion stimulus package. And these are my 2 bits. This article is bullish for the price of Bitcoin, as it mentions the U.S. government is up to their old ways again, printing what seems to be endless.
An infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Infinite amount of cash from the Federal Reserve. This article is also bullish for Bitcoin adoption, as if the price of Bitcoin does rise with the reward halving, it could draw more people into Bitcoin and more press attention and Google searches. Overall, we rate this article as bullish for Bitcoin. And these were my 2 bits. This has been Bitcoin Headlines. My name is Thomas Hunt. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching the World Crypto Network.